So there are many different clinical trials out there, and clinical trials may not be right for everybody. How can a patient with AML choose a clinical trial, or whether that's right for them?
Well, all of the currently available therapies that we have to treat AML are a result of patients participating in clinical trials. So we always encourage patients to consider a clinical trial. So I explain to patients as never exclude a treatment option. So we have the ability to utilize FDA or the Food and Drug Administration approved compounds at any time for individual patients, as appropriate. But a clinical trial may offer them an option that they would otherwise not have. And so choosing a clinical trial really comes down to being at a center where those are available to you, being in a place where the clinicians are recommending that as an option for treatment, considering that as an option. And then it really comes down to personal choice and the phase of trials. So clinical trials are one of 4 phases, generally 3 phases. Phase 1s are where we don't know a whole lot about the treatment yet, although that's changing as there are more studies being done in the laboratory setting and developed more fully before we bring them to human trials. Those then move on to a phase 2 trial where we're now really focused on finding the right dose, the right schedule, and such. And then a phase 3 randomized trial where we're comparing it to a standard of care. So depending on the phase of the trial, that may affect a patient's choice of participation and also the clinician's recommendation for that trial. And then the last part is really what would that require? Early phase trials generally require many more visits. There are a lot of blood work done because we're really trying to understand how the drug works. And so for some patients who may live a distance from the center, that might be too much in terms of time commitments. And then really it's about do you qualify? So every trial has inclusion and exclusion criteria that have to be met. So you have to make sure that you're healthy enough to be in a clinical trial and have the right fit in terms of those requirements for that trial. So there are many factors, but we do always encourage participation in clinical trials.